compare, say, like Louisville Metro PD and Jeffersonville PD and Charlestown PD. They're all contiguous, they touch.
Hmm.
But there's a complete different police culture in each of those areas. So the Clark County Sheriff's Department will be a complete culture. As a matter of fact,
Let me back that up.
Start with the one I find does to me is the most important. I want to know what changes you plan on making with the inside of the jail. With the, it's been running so bad for so long, and you've talked about that on your media platforms and stuff. So you're aware of how bad it's been being done. And I know you've talked to a lot of
This
people
is
that have
Ed
worked in the jail
Bars.
that have probably offered
His
some
wife is
advice
the
on how things
mayor
could have
of
been better, such as
Charlestown.
same as I have.
sure.
What have you taken in? What would be some things that you feel like you will change when you get in there, if you get in there?
Probably the first thing we're going to do is make sure that all the employees that are assigned to the jail are actually at the jail. We've had some ghost employees. We had the Garrison gentleman that
Still
got
got
arrested
ghost
for DUI up in
employees.
Bedford, 5 counties away, in an unmarked Clark County unit carrying a corrections captain's badge from the sheriff's department here.
Mhm.
Nobody in jail knew who he was. They didn't know him. Best that I can tell from talking to people that actually work in the jail, there's about 40 people that actually show up and work out of the 148 that's assigned to it. I do know about 10 or 11 of them are assigned to other duties, which
Mhm.
isn't right either. So those people will be reassigned back to the jail where they need to be, because without proper staffing, neither the staff or the inmates are safe. And then along those lines, I want to have two corrections officers per shift in each pod.
Mhm.
Right now, some of the pods don't have any, and they should have people in there. I'd
That's
like to put two per
he's
pod
right.
in.
It's always
After a
like
while, after we
that.
can get some technology
They're
such
all
as
down in the bookend after
surveillance cameras that cover
lockdown.
100% of the jail, or as much as the jail as possible, while keeping privacy concerns in, i.e., don't look at somebody going to the toilet or anything.
Right, right.
But then we might be able to put one person in per pod, depending upon the propensity for violence or the potential for violence from the inmates.
Right now,
And those
Clark
that
County
have a
Jail is
propensity or potential
overcrowded.
for violence,
People
we will still
sleeping
put
on
two
the
people in.
floor.
Um, but that's all as we go down the line. We need to do better counts. We need to also do better monitoring of people that have just been uh, brought into the jail or just went through the intake process. Many of the suicides that occur happen during that process before they're actually looked at. So we need to have somebody that's at intake or at the temporary holding facility that has eyes on, that looks at them and makes sure that, hey, we know it's a bad day for you, but it's not the end of your life.
How often would you expect your officers to take a look inside of those pods and see what's going on?
About every 15 minutes.
Nothing wrong with
Because
that.
that way, if you do it about every 15 minutes, you're looking at people that are attempting to commit suicide. You could probably at least stop that, or people that have maybe successfully gotten up and started the process. You might be able to save them, get them down,
And not just suicides. I mean, other things have gone wrong, like this lawsuit with the rape allegations, that kind of
Well, the
stuff.
rape allegations, the overdoses, yeah, all that stuff. I think a lot of that is because that there's nobody there. There's not a culture of caring and
People, if he would have been sheriff and won, but you can't beat the old boys club of Jamie No. Because if Mr. Bars would made sheriff, Scotty Maples would be in jail too, just like ex-sheriff Jamie No. Take my word for it. This is not over with. You got Kenny Hubank, who is the sheriff of Scott County. Since Jamie No been sheriff for 8 years, I think they failed on the inspection. Look at Scott County. To Jerry Gooden, who's the sheriff in Scott County, Indiana. He has passed the state inspection. He has passed the federal inspection. He got rid of the drugs in Scott County. He said, do not come to Scott County if you're going to sell your drug. the prosecutor and the judges is sucking it to you. So if you get arrested for drugs in Scott County, Indiana, you're going to get some jail time out of it. Also, Jerry Gooden got the health department to pass out free needles to cut the AIDS virus down, this and that. It wasn't safe for people to sit on their front porch and or walk to the store if you're close to a store. Jerry's a good sheriff. You people of Scott County, Indiana, get behind Jerry Gooden up there. Help him out the best way you can. Okay, like if Ed Bars, he was in the drug enforcement or DEA or something like that, he was a forest ranger, went to academy, federal academy. He's also an EMT and a federal air marshal. But I guess the people of Clark County doesn't want to know about the other corruption going on. Everything that Edward Bars has said in his campaign is true. Jamie No is the proof of it. Everything he said, Ed was telling the truth. I believe if they held an election Monday or Tuesday, Ed would be sheriff. Scotty Maples would be in jail. That's only my opinion. But it has not changed since Scotty Maples took over. It's still the same good old boys. Have, like Ed said, two COs for each pod. When you had 158, 78, whatever he said, see, that's what happens when I'm old. And so he would have made a good sheriff. If you live where I live, say Henryville, Memphis, Underwood, you do not see one Clark County deputy patrolling up in this area. Why is it? Because Scotty Maples don't care about you and me and all this, but like I said, it's not over with, people. You're going to find out Scotty Maples is involved in it too. I would bet you, but I'm not a gambler on YouTube. But my sources there said Scotty Maples is going to get arrested. Kenny Eubanks is going to get arrested. Him and his wife. And there's more to come, people. This video is being brought to you by For Public Safety. Make sure you go to his channel and subscribe to his channel. Give him the thumbs up. I'm asking you to hit the thumbs up and hit the bell. Sometimes I got things, it's news. Other times I don't. I love to chat. And I'm going to look for another video, which is mine, with Krista Nobody, but I forget the numbers off the top of my head. She, oh, She was abused as a child, sexual abuse, molested, domestic battery by her husband. She's a very sweet young lady that been through hell. So if I can find that video from last Saturday, I'm going to share that again. I want you to meet her. She's going to teach you the signs that about being molested by people, boys and girls. So let's get back to Eddie. I saw him today up there at the car show up on the square.
Concern and responsibility. And
There's
we-
been some officers that I've talked to that have worked there, but they've quickly quit
Yeah, because
or gotten in trouble, gotten booted out by the Thin Blue Line gang.
yeah,
I've seen it. This is a small, tight knit community. A lot of people have heard of Clark County around the nation because it's so, there's so many things going wrong.
It
here.
is, and we need to, by addressing those, by having multiple people in contact with inmates and
See,
corrections
if you
officers
see
that
this
should-
right
with,
there,
a duty to report and a duty to intervene.
There's my next question.
that's his federal badge, I guess, air marshal or drug enforcement, whatever it was, He was with his beautiful wife, Treva, the mayor of Charlestown, and she's a pretty good mayor. But I see one thing that the city of Charleston don't care about: your safety, your all safety. Because why can't they build them new houses with basement in them for tornado people? And as I put out in my live stream this morning, them houses are built on a slab. How do they have them wood anchored to the concrete? If the water line breaks, how are they going to get underneath the slab and replace the water line? Them houses are built crappy. I've seen them for each step. Let's get back to Edward Bars.
I was going to ask you duty report. So are you going to be if you become sheriff, will you be the type of sheriff that will actually follow through with getting accountability from officers that fuck up?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they need to be addressed just like any other
Hello,
criminal.
I plan to give everybody
Montez,
leadership. When I get down there, there's a
I
couple of
had
people
to
that I need
change
to talk to about
microphones because
some
my other one
allegations of criminal
keeps
behavior that I've
muting
heard
on
since
me.
this campaign. So I want to talk to them, give them a chance to present their side of the
This
story.
is Eddie
But
Bars.
I also want to make sure that everybody down there realizes that I'm not out there to fire
His
anybody.
last
Some people will
job
probably
was
quit
with the air
because I will give them their
marshal.
position description
Mhm.
and
And the job
also
he
how we're
had
going to measure their
before
success
that
and what their performance outcomes
was
should be. And a lot of them will quit. No, I don't plan to put anybody. I don't
DEA
think
or
there's a
drug
really crappy position
enforcement
there. There's positions that
and
need
like
to be done,
that.
and people that need to know what their
He has
responsibilities are as they
been
do
to
their
the
job
police
and what their
academy,
performance outcomes are.
the
If they don't meet the
federal
performance
police
outcomes, then they'll
academy.
work with them and try to get a performance improvement plan for them to meet those
Indiana,
outcomes. And if
if
they
you've
still
been
don't meet
to
them,
the
then we're going to sit
police
down and have a long talk
academy,
about, is this the
the
right job for you?
federal,
Right.
Do you need to go
you
somewhere else? Not everybody is cut out to be a
omitted
cop
from
or a
going to
corrections
the
officer. It's a hard
Indiana
job. There's
State
cops out there,
Police
and I think there's the majority
Academy.
of people down there are good cops. And I'm going to give them a chance to prove it to me.
Well, I mean, you and I've had discussions in the past before about habitual issues running for so long in an agency. And what happens is that they get used to a certain process that they thought they
He
were
would
getting
have
it right
made
for
a
so
good
long.
sheriff.
And then
If
all of
they
a sudden,
would have
this new guy
held
comes in and really is trying to make it
election
be done,
Monday,
following
he'd be
procedures and
sheriff
doing
right
things by the
now.
book.
You
These
will
people, you're going
see
to have
all
troubles, I'm
the
sure, with a
corrupt
lot of the
in
officers that have
Clark
been allowed to
County.
do things not by the book for so long.
People now
Are you
wish
looking
they
at this like
did
a
voted
reform?
for Mr.
Yeah, I am.
Bars.
I'm looking at this. I want to bring community policing efforts into the 21st century here with the sheriff's department.
Mhm.
And a lot of
That's
that
not
is
even
exactly
going on
that. You have
here,
to come in and say,
people.
okay, we're going to reform this process. And it's not because we're mad, it's because it's not working. You know, we have 28 women that have
Will
been
you
sexually
ever
assaulted, or two
settle
of them has been raped in the jail.
overseas
One
or
actually became
paint?
pregnant afterwards.
Well,
So you
I
can't
don't
tell me it
know.
didn't happen unless it was immaculate conception.
Cheese will make you
So we need
fat.
to fix this. We need to
I
reform
got
this process. So
diabetes.
that's how we do that. You
And
can't take police culture and
so,
compare, say, like Louisville Metro PD and Jeffersonville PD and
welcome,
Charlestown PD.
JS, to my
They're all
channel.
contiguous. They touch,
Mhm.
but there's a complete different police
I
culture
want to
in each of
share this
those
video.
areas.
I
So
know it's
the
2
Clark County
years
Sheriff's
old, 'cause
Department will be a
he
complete
ran
culture.
for
As a matter of
sheriff
fact, I would
in
envision it as far
22
as policing goes to
against
be a
Scotty
completely different
Maples,
culture
who's the
from New
sheriff, and
Washington
as
to
crooked
Starlight,
as
Mhm.
because they're two
Sheriff
different
Jamie
areas. You
knows.
know, one's rural, one's a suburb.
Right.
So there'll be some differences there too. But we want to have
It's
a culture
still
of understanding.
going
We want to have a
bad
culture of
in Clark
cooperation, and
County
we want to have a
Sheriff's
culture of caring
Department
down here.
as it was under
You know, just
Jamie
because we've
Knoll.
arrested somebody and
I
they're in
talked
jail
to a
doesn't mean
few
that they're a
deputies.
bad person.
They
Well,
don't
they haven't even been to
like
court
what
yet
they're
Yeah,
in a
well,
lot of
and
cases.
even
seeing.
if they have been to court, yeah, they had
Right.
a bad
And
time. They
Right.
got
they
caught.
wish
You know, it
Ed
doesn't define
Bars
them, and it shouldn't
Yep.
define them.
But there's
got
also
it.
people in there right now that I know of that got supposedly caught, but I witnessed the officers that arrested them doing their procedures faulty. So maybe they weren't supposed to be in that jail. So there are literally people that have been wrongly arrested inside of the jail that have not gone to the judge for it to be figured out yet. So that means that there
Well,
are literally innocent people in
probably
jails, in
Yeah.
these
paint,
types of
maybe.
jails.
Well, everybody's
Prison
innocent.
might be different, but
Everybody's innocent until proven guilty.
that's
Anyway.
right.
So, I
What
And
mean,
they should be
y'all
treated that way.
think?
yeah, and you should be treated that way. And I'm a
Me
big
painting
proponent
my
of
living room
releasing people as far as
kind of
number one,
blue.
that you know they'll show up for their
It's
judicial
white.
proceeding. There are people that
I
have fled
don't
before, and they
like
need to be
that.
kept in to
I've
ensure that they
been
show up. And
working
number
on
two,
my
people that are
floor
potentially
painting it
harmful to the other
black
parts of the community.
Mhm.
And I
because
look at
it
some of
was
the people
brown.
that,
And,
if they've
you
done
know,
a crime that's involved
as
violence, then
many
they should
times you
probably
sweep
remain
it,
in
vacuum
custody
it,
until
mop
they're
it,
adjudicated.
Yeah.
you
And
take
the
some
judges should
paint,
get them into the
get down
courtroom
to
as
the
soon as they
white
can
paint,
to
Yeah,
get
get
the
the
case
yeah.
heard and
brown
stuff like
over
that.
white.
Now, as a sheriff, you
So
would be
I've been
responsible for
painting
both
little by
aspects on the
little
road, the
with that
arresting
flat
officers,
black
as well
got
as the
a
officers that
sealer
are
in it.
working inside the jail. Right now, you're up against Scotty Maples. And let's talk about Scotty a little bit. You've done some research. How long has Scotty been working there in the
See, this
supervisory
Scotty
role at the
Maples,
Clark County Sheriff's Department?
he's a
He
bad
started, I think,
sheriff.
as a
It's
corrections
like
officer in
some of the
2003,
deputies.
and then became a road deputy in 2006. He was a corporal for many years, and then went from corporal to captain, and from captain to lieutenant colonel, then to colonel, and then chief deputy. So he skipped a couple of the promotion areas.
So the only way he made captain, thanks to Jamie No, they had a good looking lady. She was a good deputy, Rachel Lee, if any of you in Clark County remember that. Because No was one of them that don't like women in high rank. They don't mind being patrol deputies, but a captain. He wanted made Scotty Maples a captain. To do that, he had to demote Rachel Lee down to a sergeant or a lieutenant or something. I can't remember. But as a sergeant or a corporal, you do that. You learn the ropes. When you go to sergeant, you got more responsibility. Then you go up to, I guess, gunny or the higher sergeant, then lieutenant and captain. But you don't skip a rank. They got a deputy right there now in Clark County who was an LMPD officer. Then he quit LMPD, came a Charlestown police officer. I forget his name. And now he's either sergeant, lieutenant, but he was in charge of 911 center, but I don't know what he is. But he's a bad deputy too. You know, that's my First Amendment rights. You got good police officers, you got bad police officers anywhere on the planet.
Um, I I question whether that gives you the background, experience, knowledge, skills, and ability to do the jobs that you're skipping on over.
That makes sense. Like, so
You
if
have to have
he's
that foundation.
right,
Yeah, I
well,
just
let's give him
told you
that. And he's
that.
done a bunch of the positions. Let's say that's the supervisory role, especially the one he's in now. I mean, he's the assistant chief, right? Would you say that he has been for a long time in a solid position to make good reform changes? Like when all these things have gone wrong?
I see he's in the number 2 spot. He had to know what ex-sheriff Jamie Noel did about the money from commissary, buying all these vehicles. He had to know it. Would you'll let me know? Would he be said accessory after the fact? That's something to think about, people. Ed would have made a good sheriff. Probably
Would you say that Scotty would be somewhat already right now responsible for a lot of the shit that's been happening?
Well, I would think so, because if you're number 2 in the department, surely the sheriff himself who appointed you would listen to you, would trust you.
Would you listen to your deputy
Of
chief?
course I would. I would listen to my deputies, much less my chief. I would listen to everybody.
How are you going to go about choosing who to have as deputy chief?
I've got to cross that bridge when I get there.
Don't
I'm
know
going to
yet.
look for somebody with knowledge, skills, abilities, and experience and education.
Now, I expect all your officers to follow the law. That's what I expect. And I'm going to be doing what I do here in this area for as long as it's needed. But that's what I see. I see that there are a lot of police there that don't follow procedures. Do you expect your officers to follow procedures as much as I do, you think?
Well, I don't know. I can't judge what you expect, but I know that I can expect them to follow the procedures and due process, because that's what's enumerated in law.
If I bring you a video that proves that officers are skipping procedures or doing things wrong, you do something about it?
Yeah, I'm going to call them in. We're going to look at the video. I'm going to say, tell me what's going on here. Why did you do this?
Could you put complaint forms right there available to the public just inside the sheriff's office as soon as you walk in the door?
I can do that, but I think what I prefer to do is put them online on the website we're going to have.
A lot of people can't use online, and then there's a lot of clerks that use that, have been trained to use that as a deterrent for the people in the public.
People.
It makes it more difficult
I like to
sometimes.
see
So
them have
I suggest making
forums
it
out
available
there in the
online
lobby.
and in person.
I can do that.
Well,
I don't see
you
any
can
problem with
do
that. I also
that.
don't see any problem with someone calling me.
Once you get the
meeting with me
forms and fill
giving
it
me a
out,
complaint. I don't have any
So
issue
you'll
with
answer
that.
your phone.
Oh,
take
yeah,
a
sure.
picture
Yeah,
of it.
I've
Well, you
noticed that
have a
about this guy here. He
picture of it.
answers the phone when you call, which is, that's a promising sign, guys. A lot of the departments where I have troubles, the agencies where I run into brick walls, is usually when the sheriff won't answer the phone for me. Got a couple of them going on right now as I'm working on cases in other states. But that,
See, you have the right to file a complaint without any repercussions. So, you saw me do a live stream with TB tonight. The uncaught fraud wrangler / Michael Kaiser in lies, 3+ more lies. They had an email from the family said that his Rough Riders contact him, but the family reached out to somebody, so they never did. So I know you can subscribe to who you want to, but when he keeps lying and lying and lying, people, how can you put up with that? I don't like liars, That's how come I stand for truth and justice for all, make America great again.
That happens a lot, and Jamie Knowles been the absolute worst about it. So Ed here, he answers the phone. You gonna make a promise that you'll do that?
Yeah,
as a
if
sheriff?
I don't return your call promptly, I'll have either chief deputy or the colonel do it. Somebody will do it. Somebody will get back with you quick. It just depends on my specific workload at that particular moment. If I'm really super busy and I've got something going on critical, I may delegate that down to the colonel or the chief deputy, but somebody will get back to you.
Every time I've walked in that office to do business, there's always, every single time, Ed, a person that's standing there complaining because Scotty, or they never even say the chief. I don't think I think everybody's given up on being able to talk to the chief. But Scotty Maples is one of the people that is always complained about. And then all of the
This is
supervisors
Saturday,
that are
Yopa.
assigned to people's cases, every single time I've set foot in that office to do business, one of the supervisors is being complained about by a person standing in the lobby getting nothing done for them. So, like, I literally could go down there right now, I guarantee it, and make a video 20 minutes long that'll piss people off because they'll witness somebody in that lobby not getting their business, their legal business, taken care of by any of the supervisors.
The
I'm
next
talking Mark
video,
Meyer, I'm talking Donovan Herod, I'm talking Scotty.
yeah,
Nobody gets
I
service
haven't
there.
been
Yeah,
feeling good.
even if they can't, even if somebody comes up with a problem that the sheriff's department can't address, they should be able to say, "Wait a second, let me call around and figure out who can help you here." It may be the county clerk, it may be the treasurer, it may be somebody else, or it may be the state police or something. But at least they could call around and find out exactly who to steer that person to, so they can get some resolution.
A lot of people don't understand the process of the legal system because it is very complicated. There's jurisdictions, there's civil right, there are civil matters versus legal matters, criminal matters. And a lot of people get confused on who they have expectations from someone who has no ability in the position to do anything about it. So I've seen that a lot. What I think you're saying, Ed, is that if someone comes to you and it's not something that the sheriff's department is delegated to do, that you'll try to assist them in knowing where to go next.
Yeah, that's
not giving the
precisely it.
bullshit runaround.
If somebody comes up to me and they have a problem, say with Sellersburg Police Department, and it doesn't involve the sheriff's department, I'm going to say, well, let me give you the phone number here of the Sellersburg Police Department. You need to call them. Please get a hold of me if you don't hear something, and we'll give you the telephone number of the town manager. There has to be a way that the sheriff's department is responsible for the sheriff's department. It's not responsible for the municipal police departments or the
People, this is brought to you by For Public Safety. Go to his YouTube channel, subscribe to his YouTube channel, give him the thumbs up. I want to thank Public Safety, Chris, and his girlfriend, Tiffany. And she got a YouTube channel, Official Misconduct or something like that. There's a link into it on For Public Safety. I'm not making no money off of this video. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm trying to educate you all people on the planet, especially people of Clark County. They probably wish that Ed was the sheriff. Take my word, people. My sources, I can't tell you if it's state, federal, or what, but Scotty Maples is going to get it too. By him being number 2, he knew what was going on. He knew because the sheriff is going to talk about it to him. And I will bet Scotty Maples had stuff stored over at his house. But like I say, there's going to be some stuff brought out that it's going to surprise the people of Clark County. Me, it's not a surprise. I know what's going on. Chris knows what's going on. It's coming out little by little. I hope Mr. Bars runs for sheriff again and hope he gets it. By that time, everything will come out about Scotty Maples, since he's the good old boys. How can you not know what your sheriff is doing? Ain't that kind of stupid? You know, if I remember right, when you come sheriff, there's a school, I believe, don't quote me on it, that all the new sheriffs has to go on being a sheriff in the state of Indiana, just like the police academy. You know, I could have been sheriff. I lost by 100 votes, but that's okay. At least I gave it a try, but did I do it again? I think I'd done it 3 or 4 times and I gave up, but I keep getting closer. When you run for an office, you got to go door to door. Everybody don't have the internet. The people wants to meet you. They want to hear you talk. Some people knows if you're lying or telling the truth. You know, and you need to watch this video.
The Indiana State Police or any of the federal agencies. It's just not.
But you don't have a problem steering somebody to the proper agency if they come to you with the legal issue.
Precisely, and that's how it should be.
Yep.
That's how it
Should you teach your damn clerks how to do that? Because they're pretty they just neglect you
Which clerks?
at the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
You walk up to that sheriff's window and you say anything that they can't do nothing about. Like right now, they got a bunch of cops in there that are so maltrained, training properly, that they are used to being able to just tell the clerks, hey, I'm not going to do nothing for them. So, handle it for me. Those clerks are well trained
I wasn't
at
on here
giving people the runaround
night,
and then just letting them sit out in the lobby and
I was
complain.
watching
Yeah.
You won't answer the door or nothing.
Yeah,
They was
WAVE
live.
had that problem on the expose they did about the 2 deputies showing up at my daughter's house in South Carolina. They asked for open records request and were told to be 45 days, which of course was after the election. So yeah, that stuff's got to stop. And if I encourage people, if I'm elected sheriff, to let me know if that's happening, and I'll stop that.
It's still going on.
Well, it's already happening now, but that'll be one of the things you'll have to address in your reform, And when I say reform, I mean there's a lot of bad habits that have already been done that you're going to have to reverse if you become sheriff, And one thing that I think you and I both agree on, which is the reason why I talk to you and the way I do it compared to the way I talk to Scotty, which isn't, I don't talk to Scotty, but when I do, it's always he's giving me the runaround or shutdown, is that Scotty's been there. He likes it the way it is. He's going to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my problem.
I agree.
There are people that have been there and are benefiting from the system as it is, what I call the good old boy system.
I told you, people,
because they don't know what's going to happen. And to those people that are honestly scared of it because they don't know, I say, trust me, I'm not. I'm gonna be really upfront with you, and we're gonna try to work this out. But for those people that are scared because their golden goose is going to be slayed, you might want to be scared because I'm gonna hold you responsible for your job. You're getting paid by the county, and you need to do the job for the county, and you need to be held responsible. So. Yeah, I'm gonna hold those people responsible.
And there's nothing to bunt heads a little bit when it comes to talking about, because I've talked to you about officers that I've been upset with. So there's been times where you have definitely protected police officers in general and said, "Hey, man, they're not all that way."
Yeah,
and you're right, and I know that.
Yeah, they're not, and it's just like everybody else. Cops have good days, cops have bad days, but it's the people that really want to help society and help make the world a better place. Those are the people you want as the cops. You don't want you want somebody that can transition from being a guardian to a caretaker to a community member to a warrior, and knows how to transition and knows when to transition.
Right.
That's the best people you can get for having a cop.
All right. Next thing I want to talk about is Constitution. I actually came here to video. You had it was supposed to be a debate about constitutional policing. And what actually happened was it was just sort of a person that you'd had a little scuffle with on Facebook, like a little disagreement.
That's
And he
true,
wasn't running for
people. I
sheriff. So
remember
to
that.
me, it kind of messed up your actual, and I'm throwing quote fingers, guys, debate. Because, you can't really
Scotty
debate with someone who won't
Maples
show
would
up
not
because Scotty didn't
debate
come for it,
him
right?
because Scotty
Like, that's who you
Maples
needed to
is a
debate for
chicken.
that.
Well, and I had, after that debate, I had some of his supporters, some of the Republicans asked me if I would debate Scotty, and I said sure.
Yeah.
I said just you get a hold of him because he won't answer a call from me. And
Why
last I
is
heard
it?
that he would not debate. So.
He doesn't answer calls. That's what I was
That's
saying.
true.
You can
To
go
this
down to the
day,
police
he
station.
won't.
I'll do it if you want me to. I'll go right after I leave here and show you. I'll give you another video. They won't answer. Scotty's not going to answer people. He don't do that.
Yeah.
He runs. But
let me clarify though. I enjoyed that debate with that guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he knew a whole lot about criminal justice issues.
Nope.
But
I
enjoyed the
was
debate.
there. He
Well,
didn't
they-
Gave me
know
a chance
crap.
to showcase some of my platform.
right. I did too. And I liked everybody that was there. But the topic is what I was actually trying to focus on, since I didn't feel like it was very fair in that without another person running against you for sheriff. The topic was supposed to be constitutional policing. It was policing. It's not about constitutional rights. It is, but it's more so about how you intend to run your agency constitutionally. That's constitutional policing. So will you give me a rundown on what kind of training and what kind of how are you going to talk to your officers about understanding constitutional issues?
Very plainly, it's going to be that we have to uphold two different constitutions: the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
To the best of my knowledge, I don't see where they preclude each other. It seems like to me they work hand in hand. And sometimes the state constitution is a little bit more specific, such as the reason for incarceration is for rehabilitation. It's not for penalties. So, I mean, we have to enforce both of those hand in hand. I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
I hope he's in good
But that,
shape.
when everything,
And
as they're making decisions, and I think the most important police officer in the county is the one standing in front of you or outside your car window during a traffic
years.
stop, because they're the gateways
Will
if you
make
get into the
it
criminal justice system
27.
or not.
So
And
I
my
hope
response
he's
to
in
him or
good
her, those
shape,
officers, is going to be,
where
look,
he will
if
be the
you're
good
uncertain as
sheriff.
to what to do, then
There
fall back
will
on the U.S.
be no
Constitution and the
drugs
state
in Clark
Constitution,
County.
because those are the supreme laws of Indiana and of the United States. So look at those for your reference points.
I'm saying they don't know it.
Well,
Most of the cops that work there, most cops in general don't know the Constitution.
That's true.
But particularly at Clark County right now. So my question is, how do you intend on teaching them the Constitution of the United States
we
and
will
the
review
state?
that, and we'll go over it, and it will be in part of their position descriptions.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure that it's a measurable facet of their job performance.
You're going to babysit their probable causes and stuff for a while to make sure they're doing.
I wouldn't
everything
call
all right?
babysitting. I'll review every one of them to make
Okay.
sure that they're properly written. And I will also review search warrant applications, arrest applications, all that stuff too, just to make sure they're properly written and that they do fall within the scope of their employment.
That's
and
what
fall
the
within
sergeants is supposed
realms
to
of the
do.
constitutions of the state.
It
and
don't
the
happen.
And then whenever the officer, if you find that they didn't do it properly, you will address that with the officer, I'm sure,
Of
right?
course. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
That needs to be done. This is all stuff that's not happening. I talked to David Lowe not long ago, and he said that he was talking to you about his experience working in the jail. And I've also talked to a few former corrections officers that quit because it was no safe environment, because doors would unlock just by people kicking them.
That's true.
Because there was staff that would just walk away and leave for hours at a time. Because they didn't know if anybody was ever watching the monitors, because the radios don't work. Those are all legit. Each one in its own is a good, solid, legit reason for
people. The radios they use in the jail, they have Motorola's, what they call UHF radios. Any of you people that deals in amateur radio, police radios, you're inside of a building. They got a bunch of metal. They don't have a repeater. They just got a radio. They transmit to each other. They're close together, but between floors. So I wish Mr. Bars was the sheriff. You see some jailers probably going to jail. You see some deputies going to jail. Some deputies married. They're meeting women in certain places. I've seen it for public safety, seen it. It goes on all the time. But don't blame your good police officers, no matter if it's city, county, or state, or where on the planet you live.
For an officer to want to quit working there. All of these are issues. So David was saying, look, I mentioned a few things that could be done differently when I was talking to Ed, and I feel like he took it in. I feel like he would have changed. Would you change the way the operations are for the staff? If you started there tomorrow, would you be implementing new rules?
I'd say
for
within
the
a week
staffing
he would.
in the jail immediately?
As soon as possible. I don't think I need to sit down and make sure that I understand completely what's going on. And I have talked to many corrections officers, both former and current, in this campaign. They've reached out to me and I've reached out to them and asked questions and stuff. And yeah, there would be some changes.
Some of those
I'm not going to walk
correction
in the first day
officers
with
not there
laundry
because
list of
they
changes
talked
to
to
make,
Ed.
but I am going to sit and
Maples
talk
got
with each and
rid
every
of
individual
Florida.
down there and say, okay, how can we do this better?
I know.
How long would it take you to fix a door that's not locking?
I would think it wouldn't take very long at all.
I mean, that's something needs to be done immediately,
That's a major
right?
security issue.
What about radios that aren't working?
Yeah, and those need to be done. I don't understand why that isn't done. I would think a simple repeater somewhere in the building would help tremendously.
They're literally giving people radios that don't work and then leaving them alone. And these people they're afraid that the monitor room is not being monitored.
That's true.
Because it's been happening.
Yeah.
So like employees are smoking outside. That's what they're doing. So they're taking breaks.
Anytime during the day, people, and night,
so
you drive down
we know
there.
I don't know about right now,
come
but a
up
few
on
weeks
the
ago,
side
like
where you
lately,
go in
since
to visit
people like you and me
inmates,
have been bringing more
you see
attention to
them out
the
there
understaffing,
smoking, no
they
matter
have been
what time
restaffing.
of
They've
the
been putting more
day
staff
it
in.
is.
But not long ago, what was happening was there was only 4 people running all the pods.
Yeah.
And that might even include the person in the monitor room. So they didn't know whenever 2 people would take a break together, there's only 2 people running 4 floors. Now I'm not saying there was
people. If you're in the modern 10 room, you got access to unlock the door or every door it's in the jail. So there has to be somebody in there all the time.
people in booking and stuff, but the pods. So nobody was watching the inmates.
Well, one of the things that I'd like to do is have a rotating tour of duty for each shift down there. I'd like to have them work booking for a couple hours and then work a pod for a couple hours and then work another pod for a couple hours, then back to booking, kind of move them around and keep them
That's
fresh.
how it's supposed
I think that's
to
the best
be.
thing to do. And again, I would like to see 2 corrections officers per assignment, 2 in each pod, 2 in booking, and the whole thing. Just because it's better off that way. It's safer for the inmates and it's safer for the staff too.
Right. You're going to have to address a lot of those, the budgets that's been abused. Like I said, they weren't buying radios with money. They're spending a ton of money on the narcotics program. Narcotics stuff is important.
It is.
That's just part of their job. They got to do the narcotic stuff. But the funding that Nola's been receiving, he has pretty much put it all, like the majority of the funds, into the narcotic stuff. And I'm talking buying helicopters, buying top of the line sports cars. They've even been buying vehicles that they've been allowing their buddies to drive under the guise of ghost employment, which nobody even has seen. Ed was just talking about Garrison. I did a video on that son of a bitch. Apparently
Also, people, the deputy, if they talked about that wrecked the police car drunk, he used to be with the Indiana State Police. There's a reason you don't work for another police department. When you get fired or let go from a police department, the other police department should have a way to find out. I've heard people talk. They should have a website, just like for sex offenders, this and that, where your police officers got fired and what for. That way you can look it up. You know, I like to see that happen all over the United States. Make a law where you have to register on that website to why you got fired, this and that. Usually the police department won't say anything bad, but I think that's a mistake. I think it's a bad mistake. People of this great America, we need to know that. Maybe you all it's smarter than me. Write your congressmen and senators, see if they can pass a law that a police officer would have to register that gives the police department's name, address, and stuff like that. So let's get back to Mr.
He was
Bars.
on our dime, on Clark County's dime, driving around getting drunk in one of the unmarked narcotics vehicles. But they spend that kind of money, guys, on this stuff, on these tours.
That's true. It's still
Ed,
going on.
how do you
under
plan on
Scotty
budgeting the money?
Maples.
I plan on doing it with transparency. We're going to have, like I said, a website, and on that website, I'm going to have my budgets up there. I would be a fool to identify narcotics officers or undercover officers, obviously, and I won't do that. But I will put up, where the money, we get the money, where it's spent, including commissary and including food cost and food income and all that, because I think it's important for the public to know that money is not an individual's money; it's the county's money. And the county should be able to say, okay, I think you're spending this correctly, or I think you're not spending this correctly. And that's what I want to do. I want to have it out there.
I think the county council and the commissioner should get a record every month how the money is spent in the jail. If you agree with me, put it in the comments. I like to know.
Chargers are being discontinued. We have enough in the rural parts of the county here that we need four-wheel drive on certain occasions with between snows and some off-road stuff. So I'd like to try to look for that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're working specifically a job like summonses or something like that, or subpoenas, or working on behalf of the courts, a sedan will work fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just don't think that high-speed pursuit vehicles really are appropriate for the sheriff's department here.
Well, let's talk more realistically about the way it's running right now. I mean, it wouldn't take much to change some of this expenditure issue, because we're talking, these guys have multiple helicopters right now.
Yeah.
This is not a big county, is it, Ed?
No.
I mean, a helicopter could cover this whole county in what, 5 minutes of flight?
Well, the thing is that, and they're stationed over at the old Hap Arnold Airport over in Sellersburg. By the time you left the jail and got to Sellersburg and then flew to New Washington, you could just about leave the jail and drive to New Washington at the same time.
Right.
That's true.
Those helicopters are from the 70s, the airframes are, mm-hmm. And Bell Textron says to not use those unless you've got a very intricate parts replacement program and preventive maintenance program on them. And so far, the people I've talked to say that that does not exist.
So in other words, they're not exactly safe.
I wouldn't fly in one. I've been in aviation law enforcement for a large part of my career, both as a national park ranger, a special agent with U.S. Customs, and as an air marshal. And
Wouldn't trust those particular helicopters.
No.
no.
It's not that they were cheap, y'all, and they're not cheap to fly either. And you can't get Jamie to offer up any information on it. They're not transparent about these toys at all. Okay, Ed, let's get to the meat of some shit here. Let's talk about if A&E comes to you and wants to do police TV shows, how are you going to handle it?
No.
No TV?
Nope.
Why not? Make your officers famous, man.
Nope. Not
Not
going to do it.
I
It's
agree
been an
with
issue
If
for
they
a
want to
while.
be famous, they can go to Hollywood.
They can start a YouTube channel.
him for Mr. Bars.
But it's been a problem here, guys. We've had decades. Live PD came here, 20 years ago, I think, and started it, and it's been going on for this county ever since. And there's more cops worried about being on TV than you would ever believe over their job. Like there's just a lot of cops that prefer, the limelight of the big cameras and the SUVs following around with the crew. And we've witnessed, and I've done clips, you guys have seen it, of police that will definitely stretch their position and their authority just to make something happen for content for TV. Donovan Herod, I'm sure Ed, when I first came to you, I had that name on the tip of my tongue. We talked about him, and I don't know how you felt about that information. You were probably taking it in. But you had your own situation with him recently.
I did. He showed up at my daughter's house in Lancaster, South Carolina.
5
Where-
states away.
Yeah, where she lives with her fiance and my grandson, under the ruse of being local reporters from Clark County. I'm going to refrain from saying anything about
I don't
Major
blame you.
Herod right now, but that's an issue I will look into after the election.
I just want you to be, now that we've shared an experience, you can see that when I was coming to you in the very beginning, I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
There's these cops that are abusing their authority and positions, and locals here can name them. We can say what experience we had with them and share that experience around here. And the problem is that right now the people in staff, the supervisors that are there, they ain't going to do nothing about it. Well, I think Ed here having that experience probably puts you in a position where you see something needs to be done when the community speaks.
I will address that issue after the election.
There you go. Well, we look forward to the election. I hope that people can see the difference between someone who wants to do the right thing with the sheriff's department versus someone who's been doing the wrong thing in the sheriff's department. Scotty's been in there way long enough to make some changes. He don't plan on making changes. He benefits
That's
from the
true.
way things are right now. And the way
He's
things
not
are
gonna
right now are
make
not
any.
right.
He
They're not
hasn't.
following law. They're not doing things for the public. A lot of things we didn't get anywhere near. I'm trying to keep this short. So we didn't get anywhere near all of the habitual issues that have been going on, and a lot of them unlawful with this agency. So, good luck if you get in there and doing your reforms. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I feel like you can do that work. At least you're going to
Ed would
start working
he
on that
would have
work.
been a
Yeah.
good
Whereas your
sheriff.
opponent, Scotty, I'll speak for Ed right now. Scotty ain't going to do shit, guys. He's going to keep it just like it is because this world that he's in, it's filling his pockets, and the dude don't have to do nothing to make any changes because he's just fine and dandy the way he's living right now. But what that does is that puts all of us, the public, the community, in a bad spot because he's doing it in a way where we don't get
Scotty
nothing done
Maples
with our legal
don't
system.
like
That's what's
anybody.
happened. They
He
shut
does
the door on
not
us
like
to get our
Chris.
legal issues
He
matters
just
taken
like
care of.
ex-sheriff
Protection,
Jamie. No,
even
don't give a
there are
crap
some cops
about
up there that are
the
trying
law.
to do it, but when your boss doesn't give a shit, that's the problem. So I would say this guy right here needs to be the new boss.
If you want change, vote for me.
There you go. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Chris.
It was a pleasure
Good
coming
seeing
and
you.
talking to you. And we'll talk soon.
Okay.
People, he would have made everything he said
Even though I have given Scotty Maples more than ample opportunity to answer the very same
Listen to
questions that we
this.
just asked Ed there, I figured it would only be right if we gave him another chance. All right, guys, where I'm at now is the Clark County Sheriff's Department because I want to see if Scotty wants to get his opportunity to say what he's going to do different as a sheriff.
I wouldn't bet
becomes
2 to
sheriff.
1 he's not in
Change
his
that sign
office.
finally.
That's the same story they
Sheriff
use
Noel.
all the time.
I think it'll be Sheriff Noel no more. Thank God. But I was at 4:30. Hello. Is Scotty here?
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
Yeah, can I speak with Scotty Maples, please?
You'll have a seat. I'll see what I can do, okay?
All righty. Thank you.
I forget who that lady's married to. I think her husband is a road deputy. And she's a, in my opinion. That's enough. Don't scrape it over the side.
Doing pretty good. Is everybody's radios working in there?
I hope so.
There's been some that haven't. He's not here.
I told you.
Well, he's never here, is he?
I'm sorry.
He's never here, is he?
He's here. He's just out here right now.
He's never here when I'm here. All right. Well, I wanted to ask him some questions about his campaign, give him a fair shake at talking about what he's going to do as a sheriff if he gets it. But
Maybe check back tomorrow.
you want to have him email me or something?
Do what?
You want to have him email me or something?
Here, write your email down. There's a pen right there.
Did you learn any lesson from the last time I was here?
I do my job well.
Oh, crap. No,
You do
she
now
doesn't.
or what?
I know her. She's
What
an
do you mean by
a-hole.
Write your email down. I'll give it to you.
What do you mean by that? You do what you're supposed to do. You let everybody sit out here angry about not getting business last time I was here.
Write your email down.
And I'll take that as nothing's
Hey,
changed, huh?
She got a bad attitude.
All righty. Oops.
It's stuck.
I'll make sure you get this. Thank you.
All right. Bye. And I have asked Scotty what he plans on doing about the issues in the jail if he becomes sheriff, which you can see on my videos, Who Let the Hogs Out and Sheriff Gets Served. Hey, Scotty, can you come get a picture with our kid? You don't want to take a picture with it? Aren't you running for sheriff? Why won't you take a picture with the child? You got a game? What game you not playing, bud? You don't want to take a picture with my kid? Damn, that's rough. You're supposed to be running for sheriff. You don't want to take a picture with the children.
That's kind of a-hole that Scotty Maple is. Didn't want to take a picture with those kids. How can you all in Clark County vote for an a-hole? That could be your family there because Chris reports on corruption, don't want to know. So that tells you Scotty corrupted just like ex-sheriff Jamie No. That's what PO me off. No matter what you feel about Chris, that makes you and the whole sheriff's department look bad. So why didn't Scotty Maples want to take a picture with those children? That upset me. You idiots voted for him. And like I said, you all just wait and see. You're going to see Sheriff Scotty Maples. He's going to be in jail just like Jamie No is. Take my word. The people that I've talked to, I can't tell you. It could be feds or something. Scotty is going to get arrested. So is Kenny Hubites. is going to get arrested. Him and his wife. So, people, how can you vote for a jackrabbit that won't have a picture taken with the kids? What do you think going through their minds? He's a police officer. He don't want to take a picture of me. So, they supposed to help. You don't know what going through young kids' mind. That means them kids is going to hate police officers because of this a-hole. You see it for yourself.
Scotty Maples, guys, there's your upcoming sheriff. He likes to play games. Man, that was rude as could be, buddy. You are no sheriff material. There is no doubt. I'm not playing your game anymore. Bye, buddy. No more game playing. Guys, do not vote for Scotty Maples. He won't even take a picture with a kid.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's Dave Abbott.
What kind of guy does that running for sheriff? Won't take a picture with our kid, man.
There's Dave Abbott, who used to be a Democrat.
Man, what do you think you're doing? Why you give me that look? What is this look? You need to smile.
He's laughing.
If you're going to be on all them billboards and everything, you should learn how to smile. Hey, Scotty, how you doing, buddy? Huh? Oh, man, I thought you'd want to make up for the way you acted the other day. What's wrong with you? Well, you are aggressive, dude. Hey, Jamie handled it real well. Go over and ask him how it's done. Maybe you learn before you get this position that you don't need.
Do you see Annie?
But for the kids, too. Hey, you're a best, dude. I swear, man.
See, people, you got other deputies there. Are they getting paid to be there when they're supposed to be out on the road? I see one deputy, he should be out there in his uniform driving. As a deputy, you should be neutral. Don't wear their T-shirt advertising for the sheriff. You got to be neutral when you work in a police department. I know it's your right to vote of your freedom of speech, but when you're in police work, you got to be neutral.
Man, you need to get up. Hey, there's classes for that.
I do not.
There's classes for this. You know what I mean? Just calm down.
He don't want to talk to a
Like,
reporter.
you got to learn how to do that, man. It's kind of a position you're putting yourself in by being out here.
Film all day long, brother. It's your right.
I will. I'll do. Yeah, I have to after what happened to me.
As long as you don't go like in the bathroom or any private place.
No,
Stop harassing us.
I'm not harassing you. You
You are.
know what the I see
Unwanted
harassment is? Because I
contact.
do.
Continue don't want to contact.
Yeah,
You're
you're
harassing.
full of yourself, right? It's not here. And here is how Scotty Maples has been communicating with you, the public, about his campaign.
That is taxpayers' money.
I don't know about you, but it makes me wonder how he can afford to pay for such expensive toys, especially for just a sheriff's campaign.
That's a good question, people.
He's not here. Scotty Maples Sheriff. We show up. But do you? Because you've never shown up when I was there. He's not here. Well, he's never here, is he? He's never here, is he?
People, there's many a
Creating a new
times
campaign has never been
he's never there. Look at look at that green hair or blue hair. Why was Scotty Maples a chicken?
Damn, that's rough. And you're supposed to be running for sheriff. You don't want to take a picture with yourself. Scott Mason. Yeah, they're your up and coming sheriff. He likes to play games. Man, that was rude to me, buddy. You are no sheriff material. There's no doubt.
Thank you, Chris, for public safety. So, people, I hope you all love it. So, I'm going to stop my camera where you can look at it. I'm going to go in to fill my glass up, get me a donut, and I'll be right back. And I'm going to show you a video that I done last Saturday, because I want to get it out to your parents. The abuse that's going on with kids and the women who getting abused by their mates, getting beat up. She goes by Crystal Nobody. So I'll show you that. Give me a couple of minutes. My mouth is getting thirsty. So I'll be back in about 3. I wish I know what I can do. I forgot all about that. Man, that shows you I'm getting old. I got to figure out where it is on. I like this one. Let's play some music. Let you listen to that for a little bit. People, I was trying to find this video, but I couldn't find it. So, when you share it, it should be there somewhere. I don't know. Anything's possible. Sometimes I wish I had a girlfriend, y'all. That way she could scratch my back right now. So, went and got me a cinnamon roll. I shouldn't eat it this time of night. That was a mistake, but I was getting hungry. So, but I'm still going to look for it. And it has to be there somewhere. One day ago, 7 days ago, 3 weeks ago. How about a week ago? Where is it? I can't find it. It wasn't a shortcut. It was about 3 or 4 hours long. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, people, I don't know what happened to it. It kind of makes me PO. Ah, okay. Okay, here we go, people.
Will cuss, but you can't be a bull.
I like rules. Like I tell people, you got kids on here, which legally they can't be here but YouTube got things that their parents or the guardian has to be there. And I said, you got to keep everything PG. No bad words. Sometimes if the kitty cat jumps on me, I might say a few words and I apologize. They said them cats must have jumped on them again, but if it wasn't for my kitty cats, I probably happened to be over there and they caught it. He's a black and white tomcat. He went over catting around.
God.
It was dead in 24. There are. I agree with you on
That comes with everything. That comes with everything. But the thing is to first believe them and then test out their story. There are always things in people who are not telling the truth that will not line up with what is actually there. Believe them and let justice take its course. Let justice find the truth. Like Tom said, he is about truth and justice. Back in my day, when girls come forward and they said that I was raped or I was molested, they were mocked. If they tried to take it to court, the woman was treated as if she was the perpetrator.
That's
She was
that's
true.
true.
in court. When she would tell her story in public, and they still do, some people still do this to the day, they would vilify the woman. They would blame the woman for what happened to her. I could stand in front of this camera naked, and nobody has a reason to touch my body unless I say it's okay. And if they touched my body without my permission, that is rape. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter what you
I
wear.
agree
It
with
doesn't
her
matter what you say.
100%.
It is rape. And don't let anybody tell you different. If a man sits there and you're stuck in a situation where you can't get out of, and you got a man hounding you and hounding you and hounding you to have sex, and that you finally give in to him because you can't do anything else, that is rape. Plain and simple. That is rape.
She has
Don't
been raped.
downplay it. It is rape. And you have a right to get justice for it. And you have a right to be able to tell your story. But always know there's going to be people that are going to vilify you for that. There are going to be people that are going to blame you for what happened to you. You've got to ignore that. You're not telling your story to be out there and have everybody say, "Oh, poor little thing." No, you're telling your story so that
People, the way I was trained, you just don't come out and say, did John Doe touch you here or there? The way it's supposed to be done legally, who was it? Where do they touch you? You don't mention the name. You put the person's name in the kid's head. There's a right way and a wrong way. And, she made me cry a few times. I know what I would like to do, but what I like to do be illegal on here. Cops will come knocking on my door, terrorize, threatening, or inciting a riot. Ladies and kids, it's not your fault.
the next person who goes through this can get justice. So the next person who goes through this isn't silent. They know they have a right to tell their story. And that's the biggest thing you need to know.
Cricket, you know, tell your girlfriends about Cricket. Tell your girlfriends to come up and watch tonight's video. You know, share it with your friends. Maybe they get an education. You know, tell them to subscribe. Sometimes I do good on here. Other times I don't have any good content. But I've been watching her videos since she subscribed to me. And she knew I came live. I was sharing TB's video earlier, but I thought this was more important to your people out there on YouTube.
And to
You know,
educate
I
you.
thank you, Cricket. I like the name Cricket. See this cell phone? It's a Cricket cell phone. You
And
know,
if you want
I've
to
been a
ask me any
Cricket.
questions, go ahead. I will answer them honestly. Too old to
Yeah, they
lie
can
now.
watch it on they can watch it on replay. You know, they can watch it on replay if they want to. Cause I got a whole lot of people that watch my videos on replay. You know, they might be from Australia, Russia, but every people on the planet, it's different rules for different countries. You know, if you here in the USA, this will help you out. You know, I know what I like to do, but if I tell you what I like to do, Smokey the Bears would come knocking on my door and arrest me for intimidation for threatening the idiot people out there like this. And I done a short video tonight about JJ, you know, from Meade County where he got in trouble, which you can watch that on Triumph's Beware video.
You've done a few of those videos, haven't you?
I done quite a few. What got me into abusing women? There's this lady that lives up the road in the other county. I'm not gonna. I say maybe she's in her 30s, might be a little bit older. I'm not gonna say how many kids. She been abused by her husband. I said, why can't you leave him?
She's
Said, if I leave him, he'll kill my kids and me. I said, well, just as long as you make a 911 report, you can text it to them. They have to show up. Don't be afraid to report it. You know, that's why I've got on this to educate your people. If sorry, people, it pissed me off that an asshole would do something like that to a lady. You know,
her
I
best
wasn't,
bet, Tom. Her best
huh?
bet, Tom, is somehow she's got to get a hold of a camera she can keep hidden.
That's
She
true,
needs to
but I got a feeling her husband checks her phone, see who she talks
No,
to.
not a phone. Not a phone. She needs to get a camera that she can hide, tuck away in her house. Like one of
Yeah.
those nanny cams they stick in a stuffed animal or something like that. She needs
That's a
to
good
get
idea,
camera
people, that you
she
can do.
stick in her house. If it's in a file or a clock, you can get them in all kinds of. You can even get them for in a microwave. She
I
needs
done,
a camera that she can stick into her house into
People
different
in
rooms of
Scott
her
County,
house,
this could
and
be
she
your
needs to record
sister,
this stuff. That
your
is going to
aunt,
give her the
sister-in-law.
strongest proof. Otherwise,
Check
it'll end up
into
being
it. I haven't
sensation.
seen her lately.
She needs to get that camera somehow. She needs
Well,
somehow to have some way to record it. And if she can't put the thing to see the camera on her phone, you have her either go to her mom's house or even your house and use your computer and set up a separate email that she does not put on her phone. It is nowhere on her phone. A separate email on a device outside of her home where the recordings will be sent to and be uploaded to a separate cloud so that she has that separately so he can't find it.
Listen to
people
her.
about people about a week ago, I done a video. I think it was last week. This was a doctor. He told you the signs of abuse and what not to do. And I think they got me for copyright, but I'm not sure. But they do that quite a bit. But I want to educate you people. You know, don't tell the police you ran into a doorknob or
Right.
fell down the steps. Your good cops knows the truth. You got bad cops that don't know doo doo. You know,
Cop knows the difference between a person who has ran into a door. And if you run into a door with your eye, you're not going to have a black eye here. You're going to have a bruise mark that comes along here because of the way the door hits your face. You see, it doesn't hit your eye as hard. If the bruising comes from here mainly, you were punched. If the bruising comes from this part of your eye mainly, you were punched. Something hit you directly in the eye. And none of this excuse that you ran into a doorknob. What doorknob is as high as your face?
She got a point there, people.
Come on, please.
that's true. That's true. There was somewhere, maybe it was in Floyd County, Indiana, which is New Albany. I think a couple of police, either one or two police officers got killed. They went to a husband and wife fighting. I think the guy killed a cop or wounded him. I can't remember.
I think both of them actually got killed.
But people, it does happen. Ladies, it's not your fault. I hope this YouTube that I'm doing right now, I hope it brings some light to you all.
It's
You
not
know,
your
I
fault.
might get my butt jumped on by the men because there's some men that does get abused by women.
Yep.
But as I've been told, they belong to the good old boys club. They're not going to report it because they're not a
They
man. But
shouldn't. They
I
shouldn't
let you
because
know,
it means
I
you're a
was
man.
abused by one of my wives. Did I report it? No, I was a fool. But
You were afraid.
me 6'2", and she was 5 feet 8, 10 somewhere. I don't think she was 6 foot. She stuck a knife to my chest. I was looking. She dared me to breathe. Did I report it? No. Who in the hell would believe a man?
That's true.
Yep.
That's the truth. It does happen, people.
And men have to be willing to report it just the same as women do. If you don't report it, it never comes out. You got to report it. And you got to report it, especially when you have the marks on your body. Don't make excuses. Don't sit there and say, I'm a man, I can take it. No, you shouldn't have to take it. If a woman comes up and beats on you, that is not your fault. And you should not hit her back. Because the instant you do, you both in many states now will be blamed for the abuse. You do not touch her, you let her touch you. That way you've got the marks and she doesn't. If the only thing that you can do is basically in some way restrain her without bruising her, do that. But do not touch her. No human being deserves to be hit. No living being deserves to be hit. Like my cat who was abused. I don't hit him. I tripped over him like the old owner did, and he expected me to beat on him, and I didn't. I just walked.
Come picking cat. Moo.
Left because he told me that's what he would do. So remember, these little girls aren't keeping quiet because they like what's happening to them. They're because not only do the children out
What I
there
tell you about sleeping in the woods? Get out.
need to know they
Get
have
out.
a place in this world to tell
I'm
others.
not having you fall on my
Don't
head
have to
again.
wait until they're
You
30
done hit
years
me in the
old
head 3
and
times.
suffer in
One time,
silence.
your
They
toenail
can
got
speak
into my
and pray,
brain.
and somebody at some point will hear them and they will listen to them. So don't be afraid to tell your story. And remember that every time you tell your story is helping somebody else. You're helping somebody else not give up. Because I almost gave up. When I was in my 20s, after going through all I went up through, I almost gave up. I wanted to commit suicide. The only thing that stopped me from doing it was because I realized if I did that, that would make the people who did this to me happy because it would permanently shut me up. So I started telling people I knew, and I got bashed. I got told I was a liar for it, but there was always that one person who understood and believed me. And I would hang on to that one person.
Come on.
And that one
I
person
don't need to
helped
get
educate
scratched up
others.
tonight.
And look at today now. Us women are now free to tell our story. Do we still get bashed? Yes. Are we more believed in a court of law now? Yes. That is why we must tell our story. Because we need. Are there women out there that will holler rape or whatever for no reason at all? Yes, there are.
I
There
agree
are.
with
I
you.
agree with you on.
That comes with everything. That comes with everything. But the thing is to first believe them and then test out their story. There are always things in people who are not telling the truth that will not line up with what is actually there. Believe them and let justice take its course. Let justice find the truth. Like Tom said, he is about truth and justice.
I love her for saying that.
Back in my day, when girls come forward and they said that I was raped or I was molested, they were mocked. If they tried to take it to court, the woman was treated as if she was the perpetrator. She was
That's true.
in court. When she would tell her story in public, and they still
That
do.
goes
Some
all
people
over
still
the
do this
planet,
to this day.
people. They
They
think
would
she caused
vilify
it
the woman.
all.
They would blame the woman for what happened to her. I could stand in front of this camera naked, and nobody has a reason to touch my body unless I say it's okay. And if they touched my body without my permission, that is rape. Plain and
Rape
simple.
or
It
sexual
doesn't matter what
battery.
you wear, doesn't matter what you say. It is rape. And don't let anybody tell you different. If a man sits there and you're stuck in a situation where you can't get out of, and you got a man hounding you and hounding you and hounding you to have sex, and that you finally give in to him because you can't do anything else, that is rape. Plain and simple. That is rape. Don't downplay it. It is rape. And you have a right to get justice for it. And you have a right to be able to tell your story. But always know there's going to be people that are going to vilify you for that. There are going to be people that are going to blame you for what happened to you. You've got to ignore that. You're not telling your story to be out there and have everybody say, "Oh, poor little thing." No, you're telling your story so that the next person who goes through this can get justice. So that the next person who goes through this isn't silent. They know they have a right to tell their story. And that's the biggest thing you need to know.
Cricket,
We
you
just
know,
saw that.
tell your girlfriends about Cricket. Tell your girlfriends to come up and watch tonight's video. Share it with your friends. Maybe they get an education. That's true, Cricket. A piece of paper ain't gonna stop them. It makes them meaner.
Now, one thing that I will tell you where she says make a plan with the neighbors, be careful with that too. You make sure that neighbor is somebody you can 100%.
Use this baby. I call it a baby. I want to say maybe 8 years old this week. I guess maybe in Kentucky, they arrested, I think, 8 people, I believe, and they found the baby dead. They arrested 8 people so far. I think the grandmother, the father, the mother. Well, knowing them and what I know about jail, they got them in solitary confinement
They can't
because
take
their life is.
confinement unless they're a danger to the population or if they've done something wrong. If they're
Well,
not,
when you
or the
when you
general population is a danger to
when you
the
kill a child, they're gonna put you in solitary confinement for
it's
your
not
safety.
solitary confinement. It's called protective custody.
Well, it's the same thing.
To me,
Not
it's the
really.
same thing.
You would be locked up 23 out of the 24 hours. You come out 1 hour a day where you can make your phone calls or take your shower or whatever.
In
Like,
protective custody, you get to have your TV, you get to have
There's no TV in there,
books, you get to have whatever.
not
you
in
have
Clark
business
County.
with. You just
Well-
get your meals delivered to you. You get 1 hour out in a fenced-in, guarded yard. In solitary confinement, you don't get nothing. You don't even get a bed. You get the floor because they're afraid.
But right here in Indiana, when I know I have people tell me, you get that protected custody or solitary confinement, there's no TV. There's no TV in where they're
Solitary
locked at.
confinement, no. Protective custody, you do have permission to have a TV.
She's
But
right and
here in
wrong.
Indiana, they don't.
Well, that's odd.
Unless you can see the TV from the door, like you saw where I done videos on the ex-sheriff, Jamie Noel.
Yeah.
That judge gave him 60 days in for contempt. If you saw the TV show 60 days in, he's the one that started this 60 days in. And well, he went back to court last week for 5 or 6 more charges. He's up to 31 felony charges.
Could be wrong.
And and they made his bond $1.5 million full cash bond. He's still in the Scott County Jail, locked down 23 out of the 24 hours.
Can I say something to Cricket for a second?
Go ahead.
Cricket, may angels kiss your eyeballs for sweet dreams, and may they tuck you in for a safe night's sleep. Good night and God bless.
Thank you, Cricket. You have a good night. You have a good weekend. Be careful when you're out there driving. I stress out to people, get your dash cam when you in your car. If you ain't got a dash cam, you can use your cell phone for a dash cam.
There is an app you can put onto your cell phone that allow you to use your phone just as if you were using a camera, and it will record everything. Put it up to the cloud, and it will send you notifications when things come through, and you'll be able to use your phone with a dash mount to be able to record like a dash cam.
Okay, because the reason I push dash cam, Cricket, because you go through a red light and you got it green. 9 chances out of 10, you're going to get T-boned. Then the other person said they have the green light. By having a dash cam or a cell phone that's recording it, you got the proof. So that's how come I stress that out a lot, because it protects you.
It also catches when there's an accident in front of you so that you can be a credible witness for somebody else. Whether it's somebody who's crossing the street and got run over, whether it's an actual
And she got a
accident in
sweet
front of you,
voice.
you then have the ability to make justice for somebody else.
Also, Cricket, since you got a cell phone, I don't know if you live stream in your automobile, but you could download Prison Live Studio. But the bad part about it, you got to have unlimited data. You might come up on a wreck or a house fire or police pursuit. That's something you can do a live stream on your YouTube channel. You can go to YouTube and look up Prison Live Studio that do videos, or you can watch RD on the Scene in Bakersfield, California, or Kern County Crime Watchers. They use Prison Live Studio. So, anything that I could do to help you out, that's your protector. So, it helps you out. A cell phone or a dash cam, you want to get a dash cam that has GPS on it. It'll have your location, your speed, but if you're not guilty, you can use it. If you're guilty, it'll hang your rear end. So,
But it'll
How true.
also protect somebody else in front of you.
that's true.
If somebody else is in an accident, or because there are people
She
out
looks
there that
awful
will gun down
familiar.
for no reason at all.
I don't
That's how
think she
come
lives
I try to
close to me, but
record
she
when
looks
I'm
awful
in my
familiar.
automobile, because the cell phone, I do better.
And with
You
all
know,
these shootings lately, you don't know how many times there's been at least a few times that somebody's dash cam is what caught the shooter running out
That's
to the
true.
car, and they were ended up getting caught as the shooter they were. So you never know what that dash cam is going to catch and what it's going to do. Things have gotten crazy since Trump was in our office, especially. Hate crime went up way high while he was in office. You never know what's going to happen and what you're going to catch. You're protecting not only yourself, you're protecting the public with it.
And also, you can make money if you a good accident or a shooting. 9 chances out of 10 is that sometimes the TV media will buy it from you, or you can send it to your local news media about a car wreck or a house fire because they don't go out looking for house fires or car wrecks. That'll help the YouTube channel. But I want to thank you, Cricket. Thank you for stopping by. And I wish I could blow your picture up because I think you're a pretty good looking young lady.
I did blow it up later.
I'm
She
too
is
old
good
for
looking.
it. My son says, "Watch it, Dad. They get you for sex or harassment." Hey, you're good looking. You're good looking. I don't care if you're 110 years old. I still say you're good looking young lady.
I don't
I've
see
done.
anything wrong with that. I see something wrong when somebody says, "Hi, baby, you good looking. How'd you like to
Well, I came out of Walmart one day up in Scottsburg. This old lady walked out. I guess she's 80s. I know she's older than me. I said, "How you doing, you young lady?" Her head was so big. I made her day. Said, "Sir, I want to thank you for calling me a young lady." Said, "You made me feel good." That's how my dad raised me. I do that to everybody.
things that make somebody feel good, even on a day that's bad. Sometimes somebody's having the worst day of their life, and just to say something like "Hi, young lady" or "Hi, good looking," and not mean it in a slimy way. You don't look them up and down and go, "Hi, good looking." You look at them and you go, "Hi, good looking. How you doing today?" As if it's the average thing you do every day. It will make somebody feel good. Now, if you say it in a way that's slimy, it's gonna make her run. But if you say
You
it in a
might
way
get
that is like
slapped.
your everyday, that's what you do with all the people. You know, it's gonna make her feel good, and it's gonna make her day just a little bit brighter. And even on guys, "Hey, handsome, how you doing?" It's gonna make their day. It's gonna make them feel a little bit brighter that day when they've been having a bad day all day. And sometimes that's what we need.
That's how come I always said, "How you doing, young lady?" Because if you say good looking, they might think you're flirting with them. Then they might get you on sex harassment. I always
That's
say,
true.
"How you doing, young lady or young man?" You know,
I
I don't
always
want
say,
to.
I
I
always
don't want to
call
get.
everybody sweetheart
I
and
don't want to
darling.
get in trouble for sex or harassment. You can get arrested for it, but that's how come I always say, "How you doing, young lady?"
Well,
Because
I
there's
was
nothing.
raised in places like Arizona and California. And when I come up here, and I always said things like sweetheart and darling or "hey man," like the hippie type talk. And people would look at me like I was so weird. And they would say, "Well, what are you saying? You talk at 50 miles per hour." Because up here, they talk like this, and that's the way they talk.
I
Real
forget what
slow
state she
talking.
lives in.
And I come in there and I'm talking like you see me talking here, and they're like, "Whoa, slow down, girl. We're not on a racetrack."
See, I've been on here, I think, about 3 hours, something like that. But I think it's time for me to get off of here because
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Crystal, Cricket, and anybody else in here. I
And I'm
hope
hoping some people get something from this.
I hope you all learned something from a Crystal Nobody for being abused as a child, being abused by her husband, and what she went through. That's what I like about my channel. truth and justice for all.
And I'm going to say one last thing.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Everybody out there, women and men, do not downplay your intuition. Now, you're going to think I'm crazy for this, but there are times that I get feelings about certain things, and sometimes I get a picture in my mind. It comes from my Aunt Thelma. She was what you called a white witch. It doesn't mean she was bad. It was like she knew how she was going to, she knew how she was going to die. She didn't know when, and she died the way she said she was going to die. Okay, she was one of those type of people. Everybody has that ability. Okay, do not downplay your intuition. If somebody makes you feel bad inside, back off. Keep a watch, but back off. You have intuition. And it will tell you, if you think there's something wrong, listen, pay attention to it. You have that intuition. Don't ignore it. Doesn't mean you have to act right away, but it means you need to be more alert. Okay? Because you have that intuition. Every human being has it. Some people are just more in tune with it than others. Some people learn to tune into it. Some people never even pay attention to it. They ignore it. But it's the same gut feeling. A lot of cops and fire departments, that's that gut feeling. That's intuition. Listen to it. If it can save them, maybe it can save you.
So, people, you all have a great weekend. I don't know when I do live. I try to do it on Friday, but there's other YouTube videos that I like to do or watch. I started out sharing Triumphs Beware, talking about JJ and the Fraud Wrangler. I might do that again some other night, but this is kind of important to me and your people out there. And if I can help one of you about your abuse, like she been abused, she talks about it. She gets it out of her system. She might been to some doctors. She talked about being to some people to get her help, but she's still in that state. Tonight, she talked about it. I believe it'll help her. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a cop. I'm just because what I experienced at my old age, what I've seen in my lifetime, if her or me can help one or two of your young ladies, that knows I've done something good in my life.
And we also know that in helping that one lady, that lady may go on to help two. And then them two ladies will go on and help four. You may not think you're doing anything important by helping that one lady, but think about 10 years down the road. If every one person you help double, and each one of them people double, before you know it, it's just the same reason why people have started paying attention to child molestation and rape. Because one person told the story and it was believed. And then it became 2, and then 4, and then 8. So don't downplay your help. Don't downplay your story. It's important. Your story will help one today, but tomorrow it may help millions.
Okay, Crystal, if you look up in the corner, you see a picture. That's a picture of my dad, my mom, and my daughter. My mom and dad is dead. Mom was 101 when she passed away in 2016, 17, somewhere in there. She was 101.
So we just might have several more years with you.
I
I
wish.
don't know. I don't think I'll live that long. I wouldn't want to, but the man upstairs got something planned for me. Maybe this is what he wants me to do to help those ladies, you know, like
And
it.
children.
I live in Indiana, people. I'm about 20 some odd miles north of Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm about so many miles from Scottsburg, Indiana. And I live out in the country. I'm on a fixed income, $800 to $900 a month. You can send me donations through the Cash App, or you can send anything to my post office box. You know, shirts, hoodies, things for my kitty cats, to my post office box, which is running across the bottom of my screen. Because I don't get nothing from YouTube. But my main problem is I want to help you all the best I can. And some of your ladies, if you're watching this, you might want to go to the Umbrella Guys YouTube channel. I think he's a psychiatrist and he'll help you out. You subscribe to his channel, and when he comes live, you can tell him what you're going through, and he would want to know the state you're in because he can get you some help. Ladies, it's not your fault. Kids, it's not your fault. So as I've always do, since you all people knew, that's that's my little sign saying it's time for me to get off of here.
And some
You all
advice
have
for
a
women.
and
Google the drink you should be ordering in the bar if you are in a situation of danger and cannot speak. There is a drink. I can't remember what it's called. It's something with a twist. And Google, I think one of the hand signs for it, say you're in a car with somebody who's kidnapped you or abused you, one of the hand signs is you do something like this. It lets them know you can't say anything because you're with your abuser and you are in danger. If you're calling something or they're trying to get your bank account, put your PIN number in backwards. The cops will come to you. If they're trying to take your money, put your bank account PIN in backwards. The cops will come to you.
I didn't know that.
like I say, thank you, Crystal, and thank you, Cricket. Anybody else is in here. If you missed it, go back and watch it later. So this is a good show tonight. I started sharing TV video. Then she came on. I wanted to talk to her. I've been watching some of her videos. So I decided to stop sharing TV video tonight because this is more important for your ladies out there who's been abused or molested. If we can help one, as she said, you help two, and so on. But believe your child. If he or she said, so and so touched me, you don't say, did John Doe touch me? You say, the rules is that the CPS supposed to do, who touched you? They don't say, did John Doe touch you? The kid, 9 chances out of 10, to say, yes, John Doe touched me. But they
And also
suppose,
know if your child at first really likes somebody and then all of a sudden stops liking them, start finding out why. If they
so
start being
people,
offish to them and hiding every time the person comes over, start finding out why.
and people, you can go to Crystal Nobody, subscribe to her channel, and give her the thumbs up. You give me the thumbs up and hit the notification bell. Then hit the notification bell where you get all notifications. So I want to thank you all for this good Saturday night. But I decided to put my link in.
You okay there, Dom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do that every once in a while.
Yeah, you got a cough.
Yeah, since they put that scope down my throat, they spread it open, found out I had acid. I've been taking medicine for that. But he didn't say it was acid reflux because I took medicine for acid reflux and I still had it. So it wasn't acid reflux. I guess it was acid from my stomach coming up from my throat and closing it. I mean, it's times that I couldn't breathe.
The medication you were getting may not be working. I had that as well. What I found is the best is when I sleep at night, just a little bit, just like that, the head of your bed. Just bring it up a little bit like that, and you won't get as much of that.
But I wish see, it's 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It might be 4 o'clock before I go to sleep. I have problems. I got problems sleeping. And when I first bought this house about 5 years ago, I moved this girl in. I said I snore. The first night she was here, I went to sleep at 9 o'clock at night, and I slept like a baby. Just having somebody. The kitty cats ain't bad, but
They're not
you know,
humans.
you know,
They're not.
but she scratched my back and my head. Because my grandma used to scratch my legs or my back, when I was young, and it always relaxes me. People said, "You need a
Try
girlfriend." I said, "No, I don't.
fire
I don't.
paladin.
I don't need a girlfriend because I got a house that
I
I'm
don't
making
want to lose
payments
it.
on. I don't want to lose it. You know,
I
I don't want no
believe myself.
woman that does drugs or alcohol or smoke. 'Cause I cannot stand somebody who smokes. So it's time to get off of here, Crystal.
Okay, I'm
I
writing
watch.
something down for wire paladin
Yeah,
so that she can find me.
or
Oh,
he.
he. Crystal Nobody or Crystal CrystalBarklay. Crystal Barclay. And my profile picture, as you can see, it's a little hummingbird. That's actually an egg that I had made. And it's got a hummingbird that comes out sideways from the egg.
Hey, Ward, did you see it yet? I forgot how I found it. I don't know. Maybe she subscribed.
You're welcome.
Maybe she subscribed to me. Then I went to her channel and subscribed to her. This is the first time I think she been on my channel.
You came
I
to my channel and you liked one of my videos.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
it.
you followed me and then I followed you.
that's people. That's one I do. I had this young lady from Australia. Like I think she was chewing my butt out. She said, "Why you subscribe to me?" I said, "I either like your video or I
Get
like
out.
your comment or you had low subscribers." That's the three things I look at when I subscribe to anybody's channel. I look at your videos or I read your comment. I like what you have in your comment. I subscribe to you. You know, that's the three things I do, people. The only thing I request that you subscribe to my channel or anybody's channel.
See, I don't subscribe to anybody's channel until they subscribe to mine because I'm afraid I'm going to be a pain in the butt. And that comes from the abuse thing. You don't want
I know it's
somebody
fair, but I subscribed a bunch of YouTube videos, and some of them subscribed back. But as far as like news stations or TV stations, once they you subscribing to them, they ain't gonna subscribe back to me. But like I say, I watch a whole lot of videos. I watch Triumphs Beware.
I
A couple,
watch Longhorn Lester. I'm a survivor. Sanctuary and from Suits to Boots. They're all part of the same family. They are great people. They're animal lovers and they do sanctuary for animals.
and like I say, I watch like RD on the Scene in Bakersfield, California, and because he's always coming up on wrecks, stuff like that. That's what got me into starting my YouTube channel. And I watch What the Hells. He started out doing storage lockers, buying them and stuff like that. I got watching him and Triumphs Beware. I don't know how I got started on him. I
I
got liking his videos, and that's how I got started in StreamYard. He got me going. I asked him how you invite people. I got that written down, but I decide every once in a while put it in the chat where anybody comes up there.
Yeah.
And
And sometimes for some people it's easier for them to do the live stream and talk to you
get
than
out.
I'm
Get off of the
dangerous
computer.
type.
hey, I'm one of them people. It's peck 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 peck.
That and if my arthritis in my hands are bugging me, it makes me even slower. It's like, oh my god. They're
But
gonna be halfway done with this video before I'm done. And then there's times I like to do a long
I
video.
took typing in school. I think I had a man
Didn't do you
teacher. I
any
think
good, did it?
Nope.
nope. Then I had a woman, I guess he was sick one day. Her name was Roxy. God bless her soul. She's in heaven now. She's standing there with a yardstick, which back there then they could get by with it. Now
Yep.
it'd be abuse. If you didn't hold your hands just right,
Paddle with the holes
she
in it.
smacked your hands with that yardstick. But I want to thank you, Crystal, War, Cricket, anybody else is in here. Make sure you give me the thumbs up, hit the bell,
Mr.
and if you want
Daniel,
to,
thank him as well. Those were all the people that were in here. Mr. Daniel, Anthony,
yeah, but
Wire, Cricket.
hey, War, you can find her on YouTube. You can do it that way. She got her own YouTube channel.
And you can also find me. There's also on my YouTube a lot of art tutorials on how to do some artworks. But you can also find me on Tribal. I don't do Twitter. I don't do Facebook. I do Tribal because you don't have to deal with as many of the Trump style people. You deal with more people who are in your political group, and so you don't have to deal with the trolls like that. And they do not put up with bullying on Tribal. They do not put up with it.
Like I say, Warren knows me. He been on here for months. He knows I won't put up with bull crap. People said, well, you should get some moderators. Well, I think I'm going to get TB to do it, be a moderator. I don't know if War wants to be. He's always working. And, I haven't decided what I'm going to do because I only have
If you don't
200.
get that many trolls, it won't be so hard. You might want to wait until you get to where you're. I mean, I know people they'll get 10 trolls in 10 seconds on their videos. Well, you can't keep up with that. But
No,
if
I
you
just
get
want,
one or two throughout a whole video,
I
it's
just, what I want, Crystal, by having moderators, they keep me straight. They help me out. And anybody who's a bad person, they can kick them out. But as you all know the rules, they might put you in timeout for 24 hours or something like that. But my rules, you screwed up, you're gone for good because you know what the rules is. I don't have to explain it to you. And
yep.
also, you got to keep everything PG because there is kids on YouTube on our sites, you know, because YouTube for kids, their parents or guardians got to be there with them while they're on YouTube looking at all pages. So that's how come I stress out you keep it rated PG. So I want to say goodbye, people. So, so goodbye. I love you. And I want to thank.
Okay, people, you heard it. Hope you had a good video tonight. You know, I had to share that about Crystal. I want to get it out because I don't like abused women. It makes me mad. So I want to thank you all. God bless you all. Have a great weekend. And I love you all. So I see you the next time I go live streaming.